Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a chance to grab some of the great food we have on hand this evening, and it's really great to see all the friendly faces and family and friends come and help us share this awesome event. I love this event. This is my 13th year as an employee. I don't get an award, but it's always a fun event, and I think I've been to every one of them. So I want to welcome everybody to the 46th Annual Employer Recognition and Service Award Programs for the City of Farmington Hills. My name is Gary Mekjan, and I'm the city manager, if you wonder who this guy is up here. This evening's celebration is something we all look forward to every year. And typically, just so you all know, we've had this historically in the winter, and we've moved it to warmer weather months, so a lot of our public works, public service folks can attend, so they're not out pushing snow until all hours of the morning and night and everything else to keep the roads clear. So we decided to shift it a couple of years ago, and I think it works out well in the warmer months. But tonight, we will be recognizing employees who are receiving an award based on either their years of service or special recognition through our Outstanding Employee Award Program. It's just our Farmington Hills way of saying thank you all for your efforts. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our Mayor, Vicki Barnett. Mayor?
Is Jim Cabrera in the room?
Right over there, Mayor.
Hello, Jim. This is my last time doing this. I know, but you got to turn it over to the younger generation. I'll give you an example of two great leaders that we have representing us. Samantha Steckloff, State Representative, and Mary Cavanaugh, our State Senator. You will notice, Jim, that they're young enough to be our children. Because one of them is. I've been here a long time, and I thought it was a real long time until I looked at 45 years for Cabrera. And, I don't know if we'll be the same if he ever retires. I would assume we would, but he would leave too big a hole. 45 years of knowledge. 5 years after this city was formed, Jim came aboard. He's been there ever since. He's been wonderful, and I want to give you a special kudo to showing up tonight and letting us know that you're going for 50. He wants a legacy. He already has it, but he's going to make it even greater. And I'm picking on you tonight because you're the only one who's been here longer than me. And it's been a real joy. So this particular program is one of my favorites because I've always said we have the best employees in the state. And then when I was on the board of the National League of Cities, I realized, no. We have the best employees in the country. And that's an amazing thing. This city, through all of your leadership, your ideas, your dedication to our community, filtering through, not keeping new ideas to yourself, but sharing them, has always made us one of the leaders in the state of Michigan and in the country. And you do not flinch from state law that tells you you can't do that. You just plow right ahead. And I love that because we will be forming our own cable company, despite the fact that the state really doesn't want us to do that. We have an accredited and re-accredited police department, absolutely stupendous. We have the finest park and recreation and arts department in the country. And when we beat Marquette, I knew we had made it. Because you guys don't know, Marquette was recognized nationwide as one of the greatest arts communities. Not anymore. Look at this Hawk. Look at the Makerspace. Look at all the programs we provide. Look at all of the interesting people around you. Look at the diversity in this room. And think about how we've changed over the last 50 years. and what greatness we have before us to come when we head into the future of the next 50. And Jim will be there. So it's an honor to be with you tonight and to share our award winners and our employees who have been here in 5-year increments, except between 35 and 45 years, because no one's left after 35 years except Jim. And I'm picking on you tonight because you are just a remarkable human being, and I'm so grateful that you've been on this journey with us in the city of Farmington Hills. So I'm going to turn it over to Human Resources and the city manager, and we will begin with the award ceremony. Excuse me, I forgot. The Assistant City Manager, Joe Valentine.
Thank you, Mayor Burnett. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see the full room this evening. We have obviously our outstanding recipients, but before that, we're going to recognize our employees that have been with us for milestones within the organization. You've heard a little bit about one milestone we'll be recognizing this evening, but there's several along the journey in working with Farmington Hills. We're going to start this evening with 5 years of service, recognizing those individuals that have met that milestone. I'm going to ask everyone with 5 years of service to please come forward, and we'll stand on this side of the podium over here. And as I call your name, we'll have you come up and be recognized. I recognize we don't have everyone here this evening, but I do want to read everyone's name that is receiving a milestone award this year, just so we know who they are and they can be recognized if you see them around the office or around the city, so that you can recognize them as well. We really appreciate their service. So let me start with 5 years of service. Those with 5 years of service, I would ask you please come forward and step to the right of the podium here. Thank you very much. And to start off this evening, we have Nathan Jordan with the Police Department, celebrating 5 years. Please come forward. Have you been recognized by the mayor and the city manager? And next, with the city clerk's office, Julia Munoz. Congratulations. And also celebrating 5 years this year, we have Chris Blunden, Jessica Bregol, Scott Campbell, Andrew Davenport, Matthew Jones, Catherine Mason, Anthony Peters, Tim Shostrom, Brian Vogel, and Zachary Voles. So feel free to congratulate them as well. Next, with those with 10 years of service, please come forward. And our lone recipient this year, although we have several being recognized. Oh, Ashley's here too. Anyone else? Okay. So this year, with 10 years of service, we have Karen Mondora. And Karen's with Public Services. And also Ashley Hopper with the City Clerk's Office. And I'd also like to recognize Vianey Wilson, Jordan Castu, Anna Durham, David Jeffert, Jennifer Jordan, Marcia Coet, Kelly Lane, Andrew Lucky, Connie Moison, Nicholas Newcomb, Michael Nicholas, Peter Parrish, Brent Putnam, Kevin Rowell, Michael Rosinski, Matthew Thiessen, Mark Umerlich, and Ann Walker. Next, we'll move up to 15 years of service. All those with 15 years of service, please come forward. However you'd like to come up is fine with me. Heard some suggestions over there. Okay, so with 15 years of service, we'll start with Melinda Gerard with the Finance Department. Congratulations. Next, we have Todd Kolzinski. Todd, congratulations. And next, Rachel Timlin. Congratulations. And also with 15 years, we'd like to recognize Jason Beloga, Carly Lindahl, Danielle Rickard, Lori Waxmunsky, and Ryan Ute. Next, we'll celebrate 20 years of service. All those with 20 years of service, please step forward. Wonderful. Okay, to start this evening with 20 years of service, we will recognize Kyle Baldwin. Next, Tammy Gusher. Next, with the fire department, Gary Reed. John Schertel. Dan Wecker. And finally, Barb Smirka. And those with 20 years that weren't able to join us this evening, Dennis Ferment, Enrique Alonso, Chris Kalzowski, Chad McDonnell, Robert Sasuski, Ronald Tejero, Nicole Tomaszewicz Morton Crowell. Please recognize them as well. Next, at 25 years of service, ask all recipients to come forward. All right, so at 25 years, we have Gino Martin. Congratulations. And also Andy Rads. We'd also like to recognize Brian Moore and Pierce Moran. Moving on to 30 years of service. If anyone's here, I don't believe we have anybody here this evening, but with 30 years of service, we'd like to recognize Gary Delp, Vince Harvey, and James Neufeld. Next, at 35 years, these are the significant milestone years. We'd like to come on up. We'd like to recognize David Crisco. David, congratulations. And 35 years is a wonderful tenure with any community, and we're fortunate to have a lot of these folks in these capacities. But as the mayor indicated earlier, we have one more this evening, which is not one that we recognize all that often, and that's 45 years of service. So with that, I will ask Mr. Kubera to please come forward. So for those of you that don't know, Jim is in our engineering department and has served in that capacity for his 45 years. And we are very honored to have you this evening receiving this award. I think you set the bar for all of us. So thank you, Jim. Congratulations. Absolutely. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Mayor Barnett.
And before we continue with the special awards, I also want to say this on behalf of the City Council, and I want to introduce them because we are all so proud of everything you do for us every day. We have with us tonight Mayor Pro Tem Randy Bruce, Council Member Jackie Bolaware, Council Member Valerie Knoll, Council Member Ken Massey, Council Member Mary Newland and Council Member Mike Bridges aren't here yet. Mary's still working, and Mike has some family things that he has to attend to tonight. But they both want me to say on their behalf how sorry they are that they couldn't be here to share this award ceremony with you all.
Thank you, Mayor, for those kind words. We appreciate it. So the second part of this program is dedicated to honoring employees who have made significant contributions during and over the past year. The presentation of the Outstanding Employee Awards is a special part of the awards program each year, and since 1986, the city has honored several employees each year with this designation. As part of this honor, awards recipients will receive a plaque and a cash award of the city's token of our appreciation for their efforts. We will begin with the award presentation to the Firefighter of the Year and then Police Officer of the Year. After those awards are presented, we will announce the Civilian Award winners, beginning with 4 outstanding employees and ending with our Civilian Employee of the Year. As I previously mentioned, we have distinguished guests here with us. They've already been introduced, but I'll introduce them again. Representative Samantha Steckloff. Stand. And our Senator Mary Cavanaugh. We thank you both for attending. We appreciate that very much. So if you both could join us on the stage in preparation to honor our Employees of the Year, we would appreciate that. So at this time, I'd like to ask Deputy Fire Chief Jason Olszewski to the bandstand. Just so everybody's wondering, Chief Unruh unfortunately had to have some surgery, and he's recuperating at home. He's fine. It's minimal outpatient surgery, right? Okay. And Jason will be presenting the Firefighter of the Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Our 2022 Firefighter of the Year is paid on call Sergeant Todd Kolchinski. Todd has had an interesting journey in firefighting, which has been his passion for the last 21 years. His full-time job with Ford requires him to move from time to time. And he hasn't let that deter him from continuing to do what he loves. Todd started with the Farmington Hills Fire Department in 2002, where he received his basic training in firefighting and his EMT licensure. In 2005, he was transferred to Pennsylvania, where he worked for Mount Lebanon Fire Department. In 2007, he found his way back here home, Farmington Hills, and came back to the Farmington Hills Fire Department until 2015, where again he found himself being transferred. Todd ended up in Colorado, working for the Black Forest Fire Department. Finally, again, in 2018, he returned home to Farmington Hills and rejoined our department. Throughout his career, Todd has earned various certifications and has been a recipient of numerous awards. This past year, Todd was acknowledged for his training and commitment to the organization and was promoted to paid-on-call sergeant. Todd most recently has assumed a key leadership role in our fire department recruit school. Each year, we recruit 12 to 18 individuals with no fire or medical training and provide them with this essential training and experience in EMT along with firefighting while in the academy atmosphere. Due to Todd's continued commitment and extra contribution to the department, he was nominated by several peers to be our 2022 Firefighter of the Year. Please join me in congratulating Sergeant Todd Kolczynski.
I was told saying a few words was required, so so thanks to the mayor and the city manager and the city council. And the chief is right, been very involved with the recruit classes, and all I can say is I think one of the better decisions I've made over the years is responding to a flyer I got in the mail about becoming a paid-on-call firefighter, get trained, serve your community, do something cool that you maybe wanted to do for a long time. So if any of you out there have people that you think are physically able in your family or friends that are would want to get into the fire service, it was a great decision. I haven't regretted it ever. I'd encourage you to apply. We're accepting applications right now, in fact. And look forward to seeing your friends and family in our next recruit class. Thank you very much.
That was wonderful. Thank you. How about one more round of applause for Todd Kolczynski? Congratulations. Next, I'd like to invite Police Chief King to join us for the presentation of Police Officer of the Year Award. Chief?
Good evening. I'd like to quickly just say congratulations to all the award winners and recipients of tonight. Can we get a grand applause for them real quick? I have said many times the Farmington Hills Police Department is the best police department on the face of this earth. I truly believe that. And we are the greatest police department on the face of this earth, not because of our cutting-edge equipment or training, but due to the outstanding quality of our people, our single greatest asset. I have the pleasure of speaking about two of those exceptional people tonight. First, I will be speaking about the 2022 Farmington Hills City Police Officer of the Year, Officer Kyle Baldwin. I'm not doing this alone, so. There are many things I can say about Officer Baldwin. We have a long history of working together, but we are focused on his accomplishments for 2022. And according to the city manager's time limit that he keeps me on, I have to be brief, and I will probably go long. So we'll start with that. Officer Baldwin's achievements during 2022 include responding to and solving several high-profile criminal incidents and proactive patrol actions, resulting in removing numerous illegal firearms and violent felons from our streets. Officer Baldwin seized 6 illegal firearms in 2022 during 3 separate incidents. The first incident occurred during a traffic stop in October, and the second at a traffic stop in December. both resulting in the recovery of fully loaded, unregistered firearms. But the third incident, being the most significant, occurred in January of 2022. Officer Baldwin was on patrol at a business location where numerous violent crimes had occurred. He encountered several subjects fighting near a parked vehicle and intervened. Officer Baldwin requested additional units, confronted the suspects, who immediately began physically resisting Officer Baldwin. The suspect in question attempted to return to his vehicle, and a greater struggle ensued. Officer Baldwin, with the assistance of additional arriving officers, was able to safely and without injury arrest the subject. Officers then found that just inside that suspect vehicle, at the point where the suspect was trying to re-enter, were numerous loaded firearms, including an assault rifle. Those firearms were reported stolen, in addition to be illegally transported. Next, Officer Baldwin's keen observation and proactive investigative skills were called into action, where he identified and stopped a suspicious vehicle in our city. Throughout his investigation, Officer Baldwin was able to determine that these suspects inside that vehicle were responsible for several thefts from vehicles that had just occurred and were yet to be discovered. Additional investigation identified those victims and the attacked cars associated with the incident, and which led to the arrest and successful prosecution of 3 suspects responsible for those thefts. Then, Officer Baldwin's professionalism and calm were again called into action when he responded to a tragic traffic crash involving the death of a 3-year-old child, where the responsible driver was intoxicated and subsequently arrested. Numerous officers responded to this dreadful scene, where a minivan driven by an intoxicated mother and occupied by her 6 minor children disobeyed a red signal, struck a vehicle, lost control, and crashed. The crash resulted in injuries to several of the children and the death of the youngest, again, the 3-year-old boy. Officer Baldwin's calm demeanor, experience, and leadership led to the officers locating the deceased child and a proper investigation of a horrific incident. Lastly, was Officer Baldwin's response to an armed robbery where the victim was attacked and robbed by several armed individuals. Officer Baldwin's interviewing and investigative skills resulted in the accurate identification, locating, and the arrest of each of the suspects, recovery of the victim's property, and evidence verifying the suspect's involvement. Officer Baldwin's investigation, thoroughness, and attention to detail led to the apprehension of these suspects and their successful prosecution for this violent felony. Officer Baldwin, thank you for your outstanding professionalism, outstanding proactive policing, and dedication to duty to your profession in this community. Your exceptional performance in 2022 has earned you the recognition as the City of Farmington Hills Police Officer of the Year. Congratulations, sir. Well deserved.
Thank you, Chief, for the introduction. It's an honor to be receiving this award tonight. I'm also here, as you might have heard, in recognition of 20 years of service. It's hard to believe that it's been that long. That time has passed quicker than I could have imagined. When I started working for the department, I was 19 years old, and I heard many veteran officers talk about how fast their careers seemed to go by. I had a hard time believing them then, but they were absolutely right. I'd like to thank the city's leadership who make Farmington Hills such a great place to work. I'd like to thank the chief and the executive staff, along with the awards board, for selecting me for this honor. I truly appreciate the recognition of my work. I'd like to thank my parents, Mark and Ann Campbell, and Pete and Sherry Baldwin. My wife and I's daughter was born in November of 2021, so 2022 was a year of a lot of major changes in our life. Without all of the help of my parents, I honestly don't know how we'd be managing right now. Most importantly, I want to thank my wife, Shanna. Her patience and understanding of the difficulties that come with this line of work and the support she gives me is what allows me to come and do the job that I do. Once again, I'm honored to be here accepting this award. Thank you.
not money, you didn't want it.
Thanks, Chief King. I appreciate it. Everyone, Kyle Baldwin. Your Officer of the Year. State Rep Samantha Steklov and our State Senator Mary Kavanaugh. The folder you see them giving our employee is actually a proclamation from the state of Michigan recognizing them for their duty and their service. So it's a very meaningful document. So with that, at this time, I'd like to take a moment to explain how civilian employees are selected to receive these prestigious awards. So employees are asked, I don't get to do any of this, either do the department heads, they deliberate on some level, but every person that you see recognized this evening are people that are brought forward by their coworkers. And that's a very important consideration. It's okay, Brian, it's okay, we've been there. So the employees are asked to nominate their coworkers and to consider 3 criteria in doing so. So their job performance, rapport with coworkers, and delivery of service to the public, which is really, those are our main tenets, right, to deliver services to our residents. Directors in the past 5 employees of the year then review these nominations, and for that discussion, the top several employees are chosen as outstanding employees. From these nominations, 1 employee is especially honored as Employee of the Year. We have the highest regard for the employee who receives this special recognition. We honor them by displaying their picture and name on a plaque at City Hall for 1 year. So next, the department heads will join us to represent the Outstanding Employee and Employees of the Year awards. So all those who have appropriate people, please come forward. I believe, Ellen, you're first.
Good evening, I'm Ellen Schnackler, Director of Special Services. It's my pleasure to welcome up my assistant, the Secretary to the Director, Kristen Mulch. Now you have to appreciate anyone that can wrangle me in. If you know me, this is pretty amazing. She should win an award for this, being my assistant. So Kristen started with the city in 2015 as a part-time building attendant. Step up here. As a part-time building attendant, site supervisor at the historic Longacre House. She was responsible for all aspects of event, wedding, shower, booking, planning, selling, and implementation. And if you've ever been around a Bridezilla before, you can certainly appreciate Kristen's unique ability to calm nerves and make sure events went off without a hitch. Kristen was also a key player for the clerk's office at that time, working as an election worker. Pam Smith describes her as responsible, professional, and someone I know I can count on. In 2019, Kristen was promoted to Department Aide Scheduling Coordinator. This position is a detailed one that is responsible for selling and scheduling all rooms, events, and rentals at the Cossack Center, the John Grant Center, the Spicer House, and she also continued to oversee Longacre House at this time. She excelled at managing both internal and external customers and juggling the spaces needed for our growing department's programs and activities. And in 2020, Kristen was promoted to Secretary to the Director. And at that time, we were knee-deep in the repurposing of the Hawk, and our entire department was growing rapidly. We've grown to almost 50 full-time employees and 450 part-time and seasonals. Kristen was unbelievably valuable in creating standard operating procedures, which we call SOPs, for our expanding staff and developing training and onboarding needs. According to HR Director Lori Brown, Kristen is a mini HR analyst located over at the Hawk. She manages all the paperwork for new and current employees, plus payroll for hundreds and hundreds of special services staff. Kristen was nominated by a fellow coworker right in special services, who stated in the nomination, Kristen created and streamlined systems to assist the entire department with new hire packets. In fact, she processed 107 fresh staff members in under 60 days, which is a huge process if you know our city systems, which most of you do. It takes a minute to get things done. She did all that while maintaining and excelling at her already full workload. She's extremely helpful when people have questions and always willing to jump in when there are challenges to face. She excels at problem solving through troubleshooting and brainstorming. She's excellent at looking at the big picture and seeing how a decision or an action in one area may have a greater impact in another, or days or years even down the line. Her peers know her to be kind, respectable, and dependable. Her experience in various positions within special services gives her a bigger picture understanding, which again is necessary to be my assistant. It is clear that Kristen takes her job seriously, prides herself in doing terrific work. She's a valuable member of the city's special services team, and I congratulate you on this well-deserved honor.
Thank you. What an honor it truly is to receive this award among so many deserving employees. Thinking about this award and what it means to me made me think back to the construction days of the Hawk. All of us in special services were so excited, planning and imagining what it was going to be like to have such an amazing place to fill with new programs and pass holders. We were all so excited and couldn't wait to move in. What were we thinking? I don't think any of us imagined how stressful it was going to be or the amount of work that would go into it. But after being open for almost 2 years now, look at how far we have come. I think many of us get to actually enjoy and feel proud of what we have accomplished. It truly is an amazing place that we have created. I have experienced firsthand some of the amazing programs that Special Services has offered through the experiences of my own kids. So to my coworkers in Special Services, it's no secret that it's been a difficult year for many of us, me included. The many check-ins, text messages, and people that have been so supportive have made it easier to come into this building and do the job I do every day, because I truly have the best people working by my side. Thank you to Ellen, who gave me a chance as secretary to the director and has taught me so much along the way. Most importantly, that family comes first. Our families are our reason why we come in and work hard each and every day. She is one of the strongest women I know, and her leadership in special services has helped each and every one of us grow while truly enjoying our jobs that we get to do each day. To the Bryans, thank you both for listening to all the complaints, fixing all the things that go wrong, and providing all the candy and snacks that get us through the day. To my family, they are not able to be here tonight, but sometimes you get to choose friends who become family. So thank you for being here to show your support, and I know I wouldn't have made it through this year without you. Lastly, to my two amazing children, I wouldn't be where I am today without these two beautiful kids. They are both so loving and such kind humans, and I know they will continue to grow into beautiful people. It's such a joy watching them grow up and seeing all the personalities shine. The joy I get watching them score their first goal at Founders in soccer, making basket and hoopster tots here at the Hawk, or performing on the Hawk stage during dance camp has created some of the best memories for my family. I truly am blessed each and every day.
Good evening. My name's Karen Mondora. I'm the Director of Public Services. And I would like to invite Don Droley to come up to the stage to be recognized. Don began his career with the City of Farmington Hills 22 years ago as an Equipment Operator 1 in the Public Services Department's Division of Public Works. During those years, he was promoted 3 times and currently holds the position of DPW Road Maintenance Supervisor. Don consistently exceeds expectations and is a huge asset to the department. As one of 3 supervisors, Don oversees road maintenance operations performed by staff and outside contractors. These leadership positions require true dedication with extended working hours often needed to address safety concerns and emergencies. Don answers the call each and every time, demonstrating his commitment to his job and to the community. His customer service skills are exemplary, which is important since interaction with the public is a daily function for our supervisors. Don handles difficult conversations with ease and can turn a complaint into a compliment. He sets the standard for supervisor job performance and has often received feedback from the community regarding his promptness, courtesy, and professionalism. Don is responsible for several contracted services and has been instrumental in the development of various specifications, including landscaping, storm sewer maintenance, and dust control. He excels at project management and has consistently met established project deadlines and milestones, all while staying within budget. Don leads by example and takes initiative. On his own, he researched and recommended improvements to the DPW safety program that increased awareness about the need for personal protective equipment. He also volunteered to take the lead on an upcoming career fair to help attract new DPW laborers and operators. Don communicates effectively with all coworkers, from the superintendent to the part-time laborer. He is an all-around nice guy who brings positive energy and humor to the DPW team. We look forward to Don's continued success with the city. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank all the top brass and committee that nominated me for this recognition of outstanding employee. Congrats to all the other nominees and service award winners. So I was working on the speech all weekend, and after many attempts, I just decided to keep it short and sweet, and I had to regroup. The first speech I came up with was more of a retirement speech, so I'll have to save that for a few more years. And then my second attempt was a comedy skit, which the wife was like, no. So that one was out the door. So I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. And so I've been with the city for a little over 21 years in public service. It's been great. And I look forward to many more years of laughter and hard work. I still, even though I'm in the office, I still get out and get dirty and get in the loader and the grader and all the equipment and have a little fun and break up my day when I need it. There's always stuff that needs to be done. And the people that I work with over the years have been some of the finest individuals that I've ever met. And I hope the feeling is mutual. I try to help people as much as I can, and so many others have helped me out in the same way. So that's one of the things I love about Farmington Hills is the willingness of everyone to help each other out to succeed. And the DPW and the DPS group are simply the best. Some days I got to pinch myself and say, yes, you are at work. So thanks to my wife, Vicki, who's always been really supportive, and my son, Donovan, and Leah. It means a lot, so thanks, everybody.
Good evening again, everyone. I'm still Assistant Manager Joe Valentine. I have the honor of introducing our next outstanding employee. Unfortunately, her director is out of town, and I was happy to fill in. Our next employee, I would say, is probably one of the individuals with the most responsibility in the organization, if that has any burden to bear. And sorry, Gary, as I introduce the next person. But this next person, I'll ask Melinda Gerard to come to the stage. And I joke because anybody that knows Melinda knows, well, everybody knows Melinda, first of all, because she handles payroll. And without her, none of us would get paid. So a very key position. But in all seriousness, Melinda's been working with the City of Farmington Hills since 2004 in a part-time role in the Division of Public Works. Melinda joined the Finance Department Treasury Division in 2007 as a full-time clerk, then moved to accounting in 2011. In 2015, Melinda became the payroll coordinator for the Finance Department, which is where the checks for everyone's employees are processed. We all admire Melinda for her ability to make sure we get our paychecks. She's bright, sunny, friendly, helpful, courteous, and understanding. And for those of you that have called her and always had a friendly voice, even though you've presented your concerns, you'll know why. Melinda is always ready to go the extra mile to serve her clients, and that's every department, division, and employee at the City of Farmington Hills. We are very, very lucky to have her. During the recent staffing shortage in accounting, Melinda always was the team player, stepped up, and selflessly assumed duties and functions outside of her usual area. In addition, I would like to commend others in accounting for also stepping up, especially Senior Pension Analyst Susan Hardy and Senior Accountant Brent Klassen. Let's all cheer Melinda, who embodies what it means to be an outstanding employee. Thank you for your great service, and congratulations on this well-deserving award, Melinda.
Just keeping this short and sweet. Thank you, Mayor and City Council and HR and City Manager's Office and my great coworkers in the Finance Department. 16 years, it's been very fast. I never would have guessed that it would go this fast. Coworkers are a great bunch of people. Good times and bad times, and they're there to help you in whatever way, and it's very much appreciated. And I've gotten to be very close to multiple people and just really appreciate all of our city workers are just team players, and it makes a huge difference. It's nice to be able to enjoy coming to work every day, and I appreciate the recognition. Thank you very much.
As I usually do, I claim all of their excess time so I can speak longer. No. As I said before, we have outstanding people that work for our police department, and I have the pleasure of speaking about the second exceptional person tonight. I'd like to call up Nancy Moore. I'm proud to announce Nancy Moore as an outstanding employee for 2022. In 2021, Nancy assumed the role as a FOIA aide, which is Freedom of Information Act, with no prior experience with in this area. The FOIA realm is an inherently difficult field, loaded with evolving judicial interpretations and rulings, which lead to constant changes, pitfalls, and liability for the department. Nancy quickly adapted to her new role, and as many of us would soon realize, there's nothing she cannot do. Nancy attended numerous FOIA training courses and rapidly established herself as the go-to person for departmental FOIAs. And with the implementation of our department's body-worn camera program, our agency saw a massive increase in FOIA requests and discovery orders. Nancy immediately took an informal leadership role in this area, responding to the majority of these requests, requiring many early mornings and late evenings in order to process the large number of requests which have a stringent time frame under Michigan law. Nancy's hard work saved the department from any financial penalties and legal actions embedded in those FOIA laws for failure to meet their mandated time frames. In 2022, Nancy's work ethic, professionalism, and commitment resulted in her being promoted to FOIA technician. And with significant employee turnover within the FOIA unit, again, Nancy voluntarily assumed another informal leadership role, this time as our FOIA trainer. In the past year, Nancy has trained 2 new FOIA technicians and a long-term disabled police officer assigned to the FOIA unit regarding all areas of FOIA and discovery and subpoena orders. Nancy's professionalism, dedication to her craft has also been recognized externally by stakeholders. Often I have discussions with our city's legal team regarding critical FOIA requests. These attorneys who work closely with Nancy to finalize all critical or high priority incidents have described Nancy as amazing, the real deal, and irreplaceable. Nancy's FOIA capabilities have also been recognized by her industry peers who've requested Nancy present a body-worn camera FOIA update at a statewide FOIA workshop for police department FOIA managers. And then there's Nancy's attitude and demeanor. Much of the material Nancy is responsible for processing captures traumatic and violent images and sounds. Nancy processes this material with the utmost professionalism, strict confidentiality, and maintains a pleasant demeanor at all times. Nancy greets everyone with a smiling face and a kind word. Nancy often puts her duties aside to assist her peers in the FOIA unit and records section, or to help with a citizen with a question or handle a difficult phone call. She is also known every once in a while for bringing in treats for her coworkers, and she will support any coworker in their time of need. Nancy, for representing our agency with amazing professionalism, performing your highly skilled assignment with expertise and efficiency, and for supporting your coworkers each and every day. In addition to being a stellar representative of our police department, we thank you and are proud to recognize you as an outstanding employee for 2022.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you to the city leadership, and especially thank you to the police department leadership. The police department is truly a great place to work. Makes me want to work hard because it's such an incredible group of people. I look forward coming to work, and it's a pretty cool job too. Get to watch the body cams and see our amazing officers, and I say that amazing all caps. Our amazing officers that work every day and everything that they do. So thank you so much for this recognition from supervisor up through my chain of command. The fact that the chief, if you ever hear a speech from the chief, all the wonderful things he always has to say about the police officers and civilian employees tells you a lot about what a wonderful place it is to work. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. I just want to take one opportunity here, if I may, while I have the podium, before we introduce our Civilian Employee of the Year, and that is, you'll see a consistent theme from some of our award recipients this evening. Many of them started out as part-time employees within our organization. And Nancy was one of them, in fact. Nancy, you failed to mention you started in the city manager's office, and she hated, no, she didn't hate it, but it's a little boring up there. It's quiet. We're cerebral, administrative types. And when she said, hey, I think I'm going to apply for this job over at the police department, I said, I think you should. And she was really kind of torn because she didn't know if she wanted to go full-time or not. She was trying it out, getting back into the swing of working kind of full-time, and she found her home. And so the reason why I'm saying this is we have many jobs posted, full-time and part-time. We're always looking for great employees. So if you have anybody in mind, tell Lori. Okay? So I am very pleased at this point to present the Civilian Employee of the Year Award. This is the big dog, the big award, to one Mr. Danny Pierce Hackey. So Danny started with the city in 2019 as our information systems analyst and has played an integral role in the Central Services Department since that time. In fact, when I need anything, I just call Danny and he comes up and fixes it like that. I know not everybody gets that level of service, but I am the city manager. Danny acts as the frontline support in the city's IT department. He is a member of a dedicated team that supports approximately 750 employees. two cities. For those of you who don't know that are family members, we also serve the city of Farmington for their IT needs and the 47th District Court. This encompasses 670 workstations, 60 servers, 600 mobile devices, more than 200 software applications, closed-circuit television systems, alarm systems, body cameras, audio-visual equipment, 2 partridges in a pear tree. And as you can imagine, the team is quite busy, and they are. Danny and our Central Services Department under the direction of Kelly Monaco are extremely busy. Each day, Danny comes in ready to provide top-notch service to employees who are often very frustrated. He knows for his patient's demeanor, it works extremely hard to resolve these issues and provide end-user support. During the past year, Danny helped with the clerk's office with the state general election. He provided IT support prior to the election and volunteered to work on election day. If anybody wants to work the election, see Pam Smith. There she is over there. It's going to be a big one. And Danny assisted with the setup of precinct computers as well as the satellite offices in the gallery area at the City Hall that helped with long lines during the week before the election. He worked as a precinct captain on election day, assisting election workers and troubleshooting modem issues at the end of the night. Danny played a crucial role in ensuring that things went smoothly on election day, and as we all know, that is a very, very critical thing these days. Danny is always very friendly and clearly explains the process to help clarify what went wrong when IT issues arise, like, oh, you got the wrong version of Windows here, let me put you back a couple. Anyways, his willingness to go above and beyond, overall great attitude, and a vast knowledge make a significant contribution to this city. Beyond his regular duties, Danny is an active member of the city's DEI Council. As a naturalized American citizen, he is passionate about helping the city becoming more inclusive to all, and he enjoys sharing information about his Syrian and Greek culture. I'm Armenian, so we share that commonality. To further exemplify Danny's commitment to service, it should be noted that in addition to his position at the city, Danny serves as a lieutenant in the U.S. Army Reserves. God bless you. And his training helps build and support communities around the world. Danny and his wife Haley, okay, have 2 cats, Tungsten and Merlin. Gotta love those names. And we're grateful that they are willing to share Danny with us here at the City of Farmington Hills. He is truly an outstanding employee. Danny, take the stage.
What was left out of that conversation was the fact that I use Mac. And every time I had to be at City Hall doing something, Danny would have to come up and translate it all into Windows for me and set everything up. But more importantly, we were on lockdown for 2 years because of a pandemic. And without having Danny around, I cannot tell you how many Zoom meetings or Teams, I don't know why the school district uses Teams, Teams meetings Danny had to set up for me and for others around City Hall. You have been absolutely an indispensable employee, always smiling, always happy, and always knowing your stuff. I am just so glad that you have won this award this year.
I didn't think I was going to be nervous, but here we are. Good evening, everybody. I wanted to start by thanking everybody who took part in setting up today's event. It turned out wonderfully, especially the food. I wanted to welcome Senator Kavanaugh, and I wanted to welcome State Representative Steklov. Thank you guys for being here. The leadership, city council members, all the directors, Mayor Barnett. It's always a pleasure talking with you. I always walk away with an impression every time we have a conversation about your passion and your care for the city and how you truly want to make it better. And you have put in focus, I don't want to use the word youth, but my generation has noticed that you want to take the steps to make it a better place for us to work as well, and we greatly appreciate that. Life really does come in a full circle. I used to eat lunch in this hall in high school. I've been in Farmington Hills since elementary school. It's been a long time. It's a huge part of my life, and as they mentioned, I come from a Syrian background. We've traveled quite a bit to come here. My father has worked endlessly to provide me an education, to provide me the American dream. And he's done everything he can to just bring us here. He's worked 80-hour weeks, multiple jobs at a time, countless sacrifices. And this is the first place I found myself truly calling home. A place I always look forward to no matter where I vacation, no matter where I travel. I always want to come back home. Start off with the speech. I didn't know how to start it. I'm really bad at starting speeches, but 4 words always came to mind. I love my job. I really do. I worked a lot of different jobs. I've been a busboy, I've been a dishwasher, I've been in the Army Reserve. I've met many different kinds of people from different walks of life, and this is the first job I don't dread getting out of bed to go to every day. This job gives you so much opportunity. 14 different buildings, over 700 employees. Every single one of them has a different role, different responsibilities, different requirements, so they can provide the service to the community, to the citizens of our city. And that gives me a lot of opportunity to go to around many computers and show them how to restart it. That being said, I've probably worked with 98% of you in this room at some point, some given time. And I'm sure you've heard me say the words, "I'm not sure, but I'll figure it out." You won't always have the answer, but I can confidently say those words because I have an outstanding team at Central Services. When I get back to my cube, I have people who are willing and able to help me, to teach me, to mentor me, to, even if they don't know the answer, to put their heads together and figure out a solution. And that's just a huge part of the reason I'm up here. I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for them. As previously mentioned, I'm also in the Army Reserve. I've had quite a bit of experience as an officer with leadership. I've taken a few roles such as platoon leader. I've been a section leader for radio systems, satellite communications. It's fair to say that I've met many different kinds of folks with different leadership styles. Most, fortunately, have been really good. Some, you find yourself asking, who put you in charge? But either way, it's given me a really good perspective on what good leadership is. The Army describes leadership's role as an individual who provides purpose, direction, and motivation to achieve the task at hand. But I find that that's not a good description for a good leader. That's just the role of the individual. I think a good leader is somebody who not just provides the direction, provides guidance, mentorship, teaches you, looks out for you, is there to listen to you, is there to support you, to give you all the tools you need to succeed. And Jack and Kelly, you have done not just that, but more than that. And I would not be standing up here if it wasn't for the two of you. I'm very, very grateful to be under your leadership and to have you as my mentors. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Now, the important part, the reason every single one of us gets out of bed every morning, family. My beautiful wife, Haley, who supports me as a pillar in my life every single day. My wonderful parents, Mahmoud and Roweda, who are sitting next to her. And my amazing in-laws, Bruce and Pam. Yeah, being that I'm an only child, shocker, I'm spoiled. My parents have been very protective over time, especially coming into a country where we just don't know anything. We didn't even speak English when we first stepped foot here. My parents were very, very, very protective. So it took a lot for them to trust other people with me. And I remember, I've been with my wife for about 11 years now. We've been together since we were 16. We grew up together. I remember trying to describe to him what she wants to do. What is her passion? What is she going to go to school for? Because that's very, very important to him. And I'm explaining, she wants to help people. She wants to give people who are sick an opportunity to get medicine and to get all the resources that people like myself and my parents didn't have. And at the end of it, and my dad the entire time was just listening quietly, nodding, sometimes glancing out the window, and I said I was done. "What do you think, Dad?" He took a deep breath and said, "Finally, I have a doctor in the family." Sorry for being a software engineer, but I'll try harder, Dad. After all the time that my father has worked, he's finally retired, which is it's a big deal for me. He's never had time to do anything. Imagine working 80-hour weeks for actually 50 years. He's finally going to get a chance to rest. And in the past, when we've had the conversation about when he's going to retire and leave the country, because they will be going back home to Greece, he was always hesitant. He's like, "I'm not going to leave you here. I'm not going to leave you here alone. I need to make sure you have a support system." In Arabic, the word, when you say in-laws, we have the word called hmai, which can find its root in the word dahmi, which can be like to protect, or you be your protectors or the individuals that you protect. And that perfectly describes my in-laws, my extended family. And it's given my dad that sense of comfort to finally be able to go back home and enjoy the rest of his life. And to probably visit me, and I'll visit him in Greece, that's for sure. The city's amazing. Every single individual that came up here has said the same thing. That was the constant in all of our speeches. It's amazing to work here. It's a wonderful place with amazing people, and they're all happy to be here. It is my honor and my privilege to be a part of this city, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the road will look like. And thank you so much, everybody, for everything. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. Well, this really concludes our award ceremony. Danny, that was fantastic. Well done, everybody. Well done, all of our award recipients. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the staff from our Human Resources Department and our Special Services Department for their efforts in preparing the reception for our award recipients tonight. Well done. Well done. We'd like to ask all the outstanding employees honored this evening to gather actually out here where our photographer is, where the hoods are, so that we can grab some photographs of you and whoever you like. Maybe you want a picture with me, I don't know, but just maybe. You're welcome to stay and continue to enjoy the buffet, visit the award recipients and their families, and congratulate your fellow co-workers and employees on a job well done. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Have a great night. Drive safe. God bless. Have a good evening.